They say every town has secrets, but some towns you learn to live with them, and in southeast Texas, in a place where everyone knows your business, a man named Angelo, 48 years old, walked free for years. All while a woman's life was taken, her story nearly erased. Her name barely made it onto a single headline. And when it did, it vanished just as quickly. That this is the story of how a community forgot and how DNA refused to. In August of 2025, Angelo, a white man from Texas, was indicted for a fatal case and serious personal offense, involving a local black woman in her 50s named Berlin. A heartbreaking situation. Sudden. Senseless, and yet, hardly anyone heard about it. No national headlines. No breaking news banner. Barely a whisper online. But why? Why does a fatal incident tied to a deeply serious act, one of the gravest offenses imaginable, barely register in public conversation? The answer is uncomfortable. Painfully simple. And disturbingly common. Because the woman didn't fit the ideal profile, the media tends to amplify. The woman who lost her life in Texas wasn't wealthy. She wasn't young and photogenic in the way news thumbnails prefer. She wasn't someone the media could easily turn into a symbolic figure with candlelight vigils and smiling portraits. She was simply a woman. A human being. And that should have been enough. Authorities stated that Angelo had been connected to the case through a combination of statements and physical evidence. When he was arrested, investigators hinted at a pattern, something that suggested this wasn't impulsive or isolated. Something practiced. Something ignored for too long. Yet despite the gravity, the case barely surfaced. No long-form coverage. No televised trials. No national outrage. You could almost feel the silence. Thick, heavy. In western Orange County, a town already known for its complicated history, it was all too easy for the system to quietly sweep this case out of public view, the system that wasn't built. Her story follows a familiar pattern in America. A woman is harmed, her case is mishandled, delayed, or underreported. Years pass, people forget, the system fails her long before DNA succeeds. Because while DNA finally brought Angelo to the courtroom. Imagine what could have happened if the system cared about her before her death. Imagine if early reports were taken seriously. If suspicions weren't dismissed, if prosecutors prioritized cases involving marginalized individuals, if missing persons files weren't quietly downgraded because of assumptions about her life. The truth is devastating. Some cases remain cold because the world treats certain people as if they matter less. The town that knew more than it said. Residents in the town said Angelo wasn't a stranger. People had seen him around. Some say he had a reputation, subtle, unspoken, but present. But in small towns, whispers rarely become reports. Fear, judgment, shame, and community loyalty create invisible walls. People talk, but not to authorities. Not to the media. And definitely not to outsiders. And in those gaps, between whispers and official statements, those who cause harm continue without interruption. Why this story matters: this isn't just about one woman. Or one town, or one man named Angelo. This is about every woman whose story never makes it past local news. Every serious offense buried by stigma, every individual who didn't receive justice until DNA forced the truth into daylight. Every life dismissed because it didn't fit a media-friendly narrative, and that's why this story deserves to be told, respectfully, compassionately, and without fear. Because justice isn't just about courts. It's about who the world chooses to care about. Her name may never trend. Her case may never be picked up by national outlets. But her story matters. Her life matters. And the silence around her loss tells us more about society than the incident itself ever could. Angelo was finally indicted. But that doesn't erase the years. She remained forgotten. We owe her more than a headline. We owe her remembrance. If you believe every victim deserves a voice, share her story. Because silence is where injustice grows the fastest. Click the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more insightful stories.